Hey everyone, welcome back. It's been like an hour and our plaster is now hard as a rock. The one that I poured into the bowl just popped right out, but the one in the cup we're actually gonna have to rip out. So at this point, our plaster is gonna be this way forever. If we add water to it again, it's not gonna turn back into liquid. That's just something to keep in mind. So I think for this demo, I'm just going to be carving on the one I casted into a cup, but you're more than welcome to use the bowl as well. So the first thing I have to do is decide what I want to carve. And a lot of the time, when I'm thinking about what to sculpt, I use nature as reference. Different like rock formations or mountains or specific views, or in this case, I'm thinking about coral. On a coral reef. I've always loved the ocean and everything that's in it, so I think I'll carve some kind of coral. So the first thing when I'm getting into the carving is, how do I turn this perfect geometrical cylinder into something that's organic, like coral, something that's asymmetrical, something that is delicate, has nice smooth curves. The first thing that I'm going to do is try to think of the full form of it. What is it going to look like as a whole? Not specifically, not detailed, but more as a whole. And I'll keep that picture in my mind. I'll pick up my plaster in one hand and I'll pick up my tool in the other, and I'm just going to start carving. And it's important when I'm carving that I don't focus on one area the whole time. I want to be constantly flipping it around, looking at it at different angles, because sculpture is always going to be viewed in the round. So I'm just going to get in it with my carving tool and just start taking away material. And I'm really trying to break up this form of the cylinder. And this uses a lot of force. You have to have your tool in your hand. You have to be really holding onto it tight. You can use, I like to kind of grab the whole tool with my fist like this, and then I can use my thumb and press it up against the piece and use all of that force to really dig into the plaster. This doesn't happen all at once. It's a slow process, but it's a rewarding process. At the end, you feel a lot more satisfied with the labor that you put into it, and the labor that you put into it shows in the final piece. Another important thing to think about is taking breaks. This uses a lot of hand muscles, some that you may not be used to using, and you don't want to overextend yourself and get burnt out in the first 15 minutes of this. Maybe after a little while, I'll shake out my hand. You can also kind of hold it like a pencil. If you're trying to get a little more detail, maybe put your piece on the table so you have something to kind of lean it up against. And this way I have a little bit more control over exactly what I'm carving. This is more helpful when I'm getting into detail. But if you think about it, if you try to write your name like this, it's probably not going to look as good if you try to write your name like this. But you'll probably be able to cover a lot more room with a marker if you're holding it like this. So after a couple minutes, I really haven't done much, but over time, you'll be able to affect more and more change over what you're sculpting. So I'll see you in a couple hours. Hey everyone, welcome back. I've been working on this for a little while now, and I think I've reduced that initial cylindrical form to something a little more organic and random and asymmetrical. I've started to define out a little bit of the different forms that are being created. Like this larger form up here, I'll have like a more smaller cylindrical form here. Like I said, this whole idea of this piece of coral is kind of in my head. I'm not necessarily using reference images. But that's something that if you want to, if you know what you're going to be carving, you can look up images on Google or print them out and have them next to you. It's always really helpful to be looking at those and referencing those while you're working. So at this point, I'm going to start to define out more of these separate forms. I'm going to cut deeper into the material, into these canyons that I'm creating, to start to create a more dynamic and fluid object rather than something that's kind of dense and thick. I really want to take off a lot of the material and go deeper in, create more of a negative space. Negative space is kind of the space that lives within the object. And it's really important to, when you're trying to create something that's more fluid and less hard and boring, pretty much, you want to be incorporating that negative space and have that play between the solid of the plaster and the space that lives in between it. So I'm just going to start cutting into the material, less cutting on the exterior and more trying to get into the interior. If I focus too much on the exterior, I don't know if you've noticed, but this thing has started to shrink. And if I focus only on the exterior, it's just going to get smaller and smaller and smaller until there's nothing left to carve. Another thing that I'm thinking about while I'm carving this is as things get skinnier and as parts will start to come out of like a main form, they're going to get more and more delicate. So as of right now, everything's pretty strong and I'm not too worried, but when things start to get smaller, I'm going to be very careful about how much pressure I'm using with my tool. Because if you add too much pressure, you might crack off part of your piece. Take a little rest, shake out my hand. And every once in a while, you just want to pause and look at your object and twist it around. Because maybe you forgot to do something that you wanted to do and you want to go back and start to carve that section. Like I said, it's important to kind of be always looking at every part of your sculpture and every part of your carving and working on it all at the same time.